Dork back again, only this time, my friends, I'm going down under. So I'm going to say, good day, mates. We're about to put some data on the Barbie. It's a new thing. That's how we talk in Australia. We put data on the Barbie. I think it's pretty much like that. A friend of mine, Darren Clinch, reached out to me. He's from the Department of Health and Human Services Department in Victoria and asked if I could help him visualize their population health data the way I had with the United States. I thought this is perfect. I'm about to blog on the subject of population health being a global thing. What better way than to actually try to surface data that wasn't just from Georgia or just from Pennsylvania or even just from the United States to get this out? And there's something really special about their data that I really wanted to get out today. And so that's what we're going to do. I could click on any of these and drill down in, but we're not going to yet. Come on, that's child's play. First, we got to talk about the data itself and why I'm doing this. So as you can see here, I've put a formula here. I could label this and say population the way I've done up here. But what I want you to understand is how you get that. Normally, there's an expression. We put, hey, take the sum of this field, tot underscore p, which is their field for total population. There's fields for female, fields for male. One of them is total people, not regards to any gender. And so that's what I've chosen in this field. And this is kind of how we would do most things in Qlik, right? I pick a field and then I visualize it. Whether I'm going to visualize it in a bar chart or a map really isn't a big deal, but I pick it. The problem becomes, what if Darren wants to do some other field, right? He wants to show a chart that's not just the total population field, because they do have multiple fields. So let's take a look. So that's why we're not going to drill into here, because I'm going to talk about the fields first. First, I want to introduce you to something called $ field. You may have never heard of this. You can have a variable called $table that would show you in a list what are the tables that are part of your data model. Normally you go to data model and you look at it, or you're looking at it from the list of fields that you could use in formulas. But I wanted you to know, if you've never seen this, there's something called $field, which would show me all of the fields. So I could take this census data table and it shows me all of these fields. And it shows me all these fields, and I'm going to keep scrolling, and certainly I got to get to the bottom of the list here. I mean, usually there's like 10 or 15 columns. I mean, like, how much population health data do they have? Holy cow. Like, gosh, they've got like a lot of different fields. Man, like their Census Bureau is serious about this stuff. In fact, oh my gosh, they've got 8,492 fields. Let me make sure you understand this. This is not 8,492 values that are rows. These are columns. There's different columns of values for every one of their census tracts. So I picked total population before, but maybe I want to see just the preschool females. What's the count there? Well, it happens to be 0. What about this field? Well, that field has a total sum of 1,464,776. Well, wait a second. How can I do this? I didn't build a formula that told me I wanted this field, because my friend Darren has 8,492 fields. I like the guy, but let's face it, Qlik ain't working for days building 8,492 expressions on 8,492 pages. That's kind of crazy. So what I did instead was I can reference that $field, and I can do it to say, hey, this is the field you chose, Darren. Hey, by the way, if I do a formula just like this, where I $expand this field, I can generate the number. I could pick any field I want from the 8,492 and visualize a map. So now if I do this, instead of saying I want the total population, I can have it be this expression, take a sum of this field. So now the map is being colored by that field, but maybe I don't want that. Maybe I need to pick this field instead. And then the map changes because I'm going to pick from 8,492 possibilities for this stuff. I could come in here and maybe I do want that population. I can search through the list just like I can through any other list. It's not just values because these values are in fact the column names that are part of my data model because I'm using that $ field for the list. The same way you would click or pick 8 or 16 or 42, I can do this. So I can pick through here. I can still see any of these values, whatever that census field is, I can see that. For Tasmania, I had to show that one because, that's where my Tasmanian devil guy lives. I grew up loving watching that guy. He wreaked havoc on the world, and I kind of feel like there's data going all over the world I need to help visualize. And so I could look at Victoria, I can get the number, but I can then also drill into the census tract level. Now we start being able to visualize where hospitals are, where physicians' offices are, where people are at risk in that state by census tracts. Again, I can look at any of these fields to get any of this. So if I pick any field, I can start coloring it by that. So I chose Australia for a purpose. The volume of data is so massive. Imagine thinking about how you would possibly do this with something like an Excel spreadsheet. How would you create the charts and the visuals you need for 8,492 possible data fields for thousands of different census tracts? When I say that it's hard to consume the data, it's hard from the standpoint that it sometimes gets overwhelming. The great news is in this case, Darren is a long time Qlik user and he gets the value of consuming this data through Qlik and through Qlik GeoAnalytics. And so I hope you've had a great day. I need to get back out to that Barbie because I'll bet you there's some other data somewhere in the world I could throw on there. Have a great day.